What's up everyone, this is Tinyhawk Throwback, where I share with you some moments of my experience sending these little hawks on the track. I hope y'all enjoy. Let's get to it.
Hey, yeah.
Made us look like garbage.
This was my first big Tinyhawk race of the season. Now I had to give 901 FPV a shout out because they hold some really awesome events, and if there's one thing that I can count on with their Tinyhawk Spec races is they like to go fast. They have a huge track, and if you're not on it 100%, you're left in the dust. So in this race, I was using my Tinyhawk S. Now this is before the Tinyhawk 2 came out, so the Tinyhawk S was the standard in the industry. Prior to this race, I had just soldered my motors to my Tinyhawk. I was having some issues with motor stutter, and I narrowed it down to the connector. Once I got the motor soldered, I noticed a huge difference in performance, as did everyone else. When I sent my Tinyhawk full throttle down the track, everyone could hear it scream. It's like they thought I was running some kind of souped up 2S battery or something. This Tinyhawk really performed a lot different than the stock version, just by that little modification, and boy, was I glad I soldered them motors. One thing I cannot forget about that track, because it threw me off my game every lap, was the blind turn coming out of the hallway. When you made that turn, you had to go like underneath a table, and for the life of me, I could just not get that turn right. Every time I came up to that turn, I would fumble on the sticks, trying not to crash. Eventually, I found a way to make it work, but even then it wasn't 100%. But the hallways though, I mean, it was full send down these hallways, back over top the table into the gym where you had to go through a slew of gates. Upon entering the top gate of the half ladder, it seemed like everyone was neck and neck, just about every lap. One mistake would cost you the race. I just tried to take turns as tight as possible, and in some instances, I was able to gain the distance I needed to finish the race in a better spot than when I started. They used the handrail on the bleachers as a turning point, so you'd come through one gate, up around the handrail, and down through another gate. It was a very fun little element of the track for sure, and probably my favorite. I remember having some video issues in several of my heats, and a few times it rendered flying almost impossible. I just tried to do my best and remain calm, and it paid off because I regained video and was able to continue my lap and complete them. All through qualifying, I held that number 2 spot on the leaderboard right behind Lundy FPV. Holy crap, Lundy is such a skilled pilot. I felt like I was just eating his dust every round because I could not close the gap of about 4 seconds between his best 4 seconds and mine. But during mains, despite almost unflyable video and Lundy still in that TQ spot, I was able to take the overall win, finishing first in round 1 and 3 of A mains. It was such an awesome race. It gave me a really good opportunity to push my Tinyhawk and get a taste of what those top skilled pilots at 901 can do. So if you really enjoyed this episode of Tinyhawk Throwback, I hope you'll hit that subscribe button to show some support, and stay tuned for the next one.
Yeah, I said I got this, I'm in it. I'm hella filthy, so I got this, I'm winning. I'm not a quitter, so I'm not fucking quitting. Just try to stop me and you'll drop dead.